I'm going to go through the positions basically so you can hear these things. So here is, I'll start with rhythm, and I'm running through a tweed champ with no effects. The cable's just running straight to the amp. The amp's on about 3.5%. Distortion City. So let's go to the middle position, and both volumes are up. Here we go. Lead. That's pretty sharp. Whew. Alright, that's what they sound like. Let's go through them and turn down just a little. No, I'm going to leave it on there. Let's go back to the rhythm, and I'll show you the difference between the single cut, single coil, and double coil. So once again, here's a little bit of something, just a straight G. It gets quite a bit thinner sounding, as you would expect. You drop a little bit of volume because of that. Thinner sounding equals less volume. I like the single coil for the rhythm sound. I think it's a nice clean rhythm sound sort of. I don't know what you would call that, if you'd call it thin or if you'd call it chimey. It's kind of an open, stringy sound to me. So here's what the lead sounds like on the split. That's the humbucker. Here's split. Let's do it again. Back. Here's some rhythm. Lead pickup, humbuckers. Gonna have to tune it in a minute. Split coil. I kind of like the split on the lead pickup better than the front. This is a Epiphone Les Paul. This is one of the newer ones. It's called a Standard Pro. Now, I've had other Les Pauls before. I've had other Epiphone Les Pauls, and I ended up selling them for one reason or another. The last one I sold because we had some medical bills to pay, and I really don't play Les Pauls very much. But after a while, I decided the shop needed one as an example because they are fun to rewire. There's a lot of rewiring things, and occasionally I get called to do some work on a Les Paul. So it's nice to have one around in the shop as a model. And after I had the other ones, I saw the blue sunburst, and I thought, man, I'd like to have one of those because they're real pretty. And this one showed up on Reverb.com. I ended up getting it from Dave's Guitar Shop, and good price and great service. When I got the guitar in, it is like brand spanking new. I mean, I can't tell that it's not brand new. So here it is. Now, that's kind of fun. One thing that the new ones have different from the old Epiphones, the older Epiphones are constantly changing the specs. You know, this one has a coil splitting feature. So these are humbuckers, right? So there's around this way and around this way. The coil split lets you take one of the coils out and make it into basically almost a single coil. It's not the same as playing as a Fender Stratocaster or Telecaster, but it does have some different sounds to it. This is probably my favorite of the three Epiphones that I've owned, and the reason is it's lighter. And most people like a heavy Les Paul. I don't like a heavy Les Paul because the weight is all back here and it wants to fall off your leg all the time. It's really hard for me to sit and be comfortable with. But this guitar is just sitting here. It balances really well. I like it a lot. I'm going to weigh. I should weigh it. I'll put the weight on the comments here and let you know. But I guarantee it's a lighter guitar. The construction and the build and all that is just, I mean, it's immaculate. It's really good. Made in Indonesia. Of course, they ought to have it down by now, but it's nice. Of course, it's thick poly finish, I'm sure, you know, but whatever. For $400, you know, it's hard to beat these things. Now, the one thing I did modify was the nut. The nut spacing, as is typical on stock guitars, was really far in like this, so I wasn't getting much width of the fingerboard. And I pretty quickly made a new bone nut for it. The stock nut is plastic. I happen to have a real pretty piece of bone that I used, and you can see it right there. I got my spacing where I wanted it, and then that's it. You know, I took a look at the electronics, and what I discovered in the back is that the electronics are connectors. So they had the whole thing set up with little connectors, so it's not going to be that easy to modify. In other words, one thing you can do to Les Pauls is switch the wiring so that the volume controls are independent of each other when it's in the middle switch. I'll show you that in a second. Well, these are connectors, so you have to take the connectors apart and redo it like that. Or you could just replace all the pots and everything. So, anyway, let's play a few things. Quit talking, let's play. So, well, there you go. That's about all I have to say about the Epiphone. I like it a lot. It's been a good guitar. Again, it's my favorite of the three Epiphone Les Pauls that I've owned. It's pretty, lightweight, fairly lightweight for a Les Paul. Plays good, neck's good, frets are good, electronics are good, hardware is pretty good. No complaints. Good guitar.